Have you ever felt an itch that just wouldn't go away? It's tempting to think, oh, it's just dry skin, or I must have brushed up against something. But as we get older, our bodies find subtle ways to let us know something bigger might be going on beneath the surface. Sometimes, a persistent itch is more than a passing nuisance. It can be a quiet signal from within, like a small warning light blinking on your dashboard. If you're in your 60s, 70s, 80s, or beyond, and you've noticed unusual itching in specific areas, you might want to pay attention because your skin could be telling you something important about your overall health. Before we dive into the specific areas of the body where itchiness can mean more than just a little irritation, let me share a simple truth. As we age, everything from our circulation to our organs, from our nerves to our nutrient levels, starts to shift. These changes are often subtle at first. Maybe you get tired a little faster after climbing the stairs, or perhaps your skin seems drier than it used to be. Sometimes these shifts happen so gradually that we hardly notice them, but an itch, especially one that lingers, can be a bit like a nudge from your body, urging you to check in on how things are functioning under the hood. I want to walk you through a few specific itch zones that, according to various doctors and researchers, might be flashing a caution sign about deeper health concerns. We'll explore why these areas might itch and how that could connect to issues like circulation problems, liver or kidney strain, stress on your nervous system, or even nutritional deficiencies. By the end, you'll have a clear idea of why these itches matter and what you can do if you've been scratching the same spot again and again. This isn't about fear or worry, it's about awareness and staying ahead of problems before they become too big to handle. Imagine you're sitting in your favorite chair, watching television, or reading a good book. All of a sudden, you feel that tingle on your lower legs. You scratch a bit, maybe rub on some lotion, but it doesn't help much. You shift in your seat, thinking maybe your pants or socks are irritating your skin, yet it keeps happening, day after day. If you've noticed this scenario and you're older, it could be a signal of poor circulation in your legs, sometimes referred to as peripheral artery disease, PAD. Think of your blood vessels like tiny highways carrying essential nutrients and oxygen to every part of your body. When these vessels narrow or get blocked, blood can't move freely, and your skin might become unusually dry and itchy. Here's a small story. There were two friends, Harold and Dennis, both in their early 80s. Harold made it a habit to walk around the block every morning. Nothing intense, just a gentle 20-minute stroll to get his blood pumping. Dennis, however, became less active over time. He spent more hours in front of the TV, felt tired more often, and began noticing a nagging itch on his legs, especially at night. At first, he brushed it off, blaming the dry winter air. But as weeks turned into months, the itch didn't improve. What Dennis didn't realize was that sitting for long periods was affecting his circulation. When blood flow to the legs is compromised, the skin can suffer, leading to persistent dryness and itchiness. Over time, poor circulation doesn't just affect your comfort, it can put extra stress on your heart and increase risks of heart disease or even stroke. The good news? If you catch it early, you can often help yourself in simple ways. A short daily walk or gentle leg exercises can encourage better blood flow. Staying hydrated is crucial. If you tend to salt your food heavily, cutting back can also make a difference. Some people find relief by elevating their legs while sitting, or even using compression socks, if recommended by a doctor. So the next time you notice that your lower legs are unusually itchy without a clear rash or obvious allergy, consider it a gentle suggestion from your body to check your circulation. Moving higher up, let's talk about that itch on your upper or mid-back. We've all tried that awkward stretch, or asked a loved one to scratch that spot we can't quite reach. Usually you figure it's a clothing tag or a dry patch of skin. But believe it or not, persistent itchiness in that region can sometimes be a clue that your liver or kidneys might be struggling. When these organs aren't filtering toxins effectively, those waste products can build up, irritating your skin from the inside out. If you've ever noticed unexplained itching without a rash, especially if it seems worse at night, it might be worth asking your doctor for a simple blood test to see how well your liver and kidneys are doing. Consider two older women, Dorothy and Janice, both 76 years old. Dorothy has always been careful about her water intake. She drinks plenty of fluids, goes for regular checkups, and takes a mindful approach to her diet. Janice, on the other hand, found herself feeling more fatigued recently. She noticed some swelling in her ankle slight at first, then gradually more persistent, and along with that swelling came an itch across her mid-back that no lotion or detergent switch could calm. While Janice assumed it was just one of those aging annoyances, her body was actually signaling an internal imbalance. Your liver and kidneys are powerhouses that filter out waste, help with digestion, regulate fluids, and keep your chemical levels balanced. If they're under strain, perhaps due to medications, a high salt diet, or insufficient water intake, your skin might be the first place you sense something off. Chronic itching from liver or kidney issues often doesn't respond to the usual remedies, like moisturizing or switching soaps. It can also make it hard to sleep, which then contributes to fatigue, mood changes, and a vicious cycle of feeling unwell. If this sounds familiar, it's not a reason to panic. It's simply a reason to listen to your body's signals and seek a bit more information. Usually, small changes staying properly hydrated, reducing alcohol, cutting back on processed foods can go a long way. And if you're on multiple medications, talking to your doctor about their impact on your organs can be incredibly helpful. Speaking of hidden stress, let's move up to the scalp and neck region. If you've ever found yourself scratching the back of your head without any flaking or rash, you might be experiencing a signal related to stress or changes in your nervous system. The scalp is home to a lot of nerve endings, and it can be one of the first areas to reveal that your body is under strain. As we age, our stress response doesn't always settle down as smoothly as it once did. Instead of bouncing back from worry or anxiety, we might stay in a low-grade state of tension for much longer. Over time, this tension can build, and for some people, it surfaces in an itch that shampoos and lotions don't fix. Let's look at two men, Leonard and Ray, both approaching 80. Leonard has a pretty peaceful routine, gardens a little, enjoys a bit of light meditation in the evenings, and stays in touch with friends. Ray, however, found retirement more challenging. He missed the daily structure of work, spent hours scrolling through the news, and gradually became more anxious without realizing it. Soon, Ray noticed he was scratching his scalp more often, first at night and then throughout the day. There was no obvious dandruff, no rash, just this constant urge to scratch. It turned out that Ray's body was giving him a hint that he was carrying a lot of stress in his shoulders, neck, and mind. The moment we link persistent scalp or neck itching to stress or even early signs of nerve-related changes, it becomes easier to address. Simple breathing exercises: inhale deeply for 4 counts. Hold for 4, exhale for 4 can settle the nervous system. Spending even 10 minutes walking outside, letting sunshine hit your face, or focusing on a plant or a bird can lower stress hormones. Staying socially connected is equally important. A phone call to a loved one or a conversation with a friend can do wonders for our sense of well-being. If you're in a situation like Ray's, where you notice that life changes are making you anxious, consider how you can introduce small routines that calm your mind. Maybe turn off the TV an hour earlier, replace that screen time with a short chat or some gentle stretches. Often these tiny choices add up, helping reduce the physical expression of stress like that irritating scalp itch before it becomes a bigger issue. Finally, there's a region we often don't associate with persistent itching: the chest or belly. Yet, if you find yourself scratching in these areas more than usual, and you can't pinpoint a bug bite, rash, or allergy, it might be tied to nutritional deficiencies or malabsorption problems. As the body ages, it might not absorb vitamins and minerals as efficiently as it once did. This can lead to subtle yet significant imbalances. For example, lacking certain B vitamins or healthy fats could make your skin drier or more prone to irritation, especially in areas where your body naturally has a higher concentration of nerve endings and blood vessels. Picture 2 women, Joyce and Elaine, both 81. Joyce still takes pleasure in preparing homemade meals, even if they're small in portion. She adds veggies, fruits, lean protein, making sure to get a nice spread of nutrients. Elaine, though, lost interest in cooking over time. She found it easier to open a can of soup or reach for crackers when she felt hungry, which was less often than before. Elaine started noticing a persistent itch across her abdomen, sometimes creeping up toward her chest. She assumed she was reacting to a new soap, But that wasn't the root cause. Her body was actually missing key nutrients that help maintain healthy skin and balanced nerve function. This kind of internal malnutrition can hide even if you're not losing weight dramatically. You might weigh the same you did a year ago, yet your cells could be starving for essential vitamins and minerals. Over time, these deficiencies can weaken not only your skin's barrier, but also your immune system, your muscle strength, and your overall resilience. The chest and abdomen can start itching because the nerves there are quick to react to changes in circulation, hydration, and nutrient levels. The silver lining is that nutritional issues are often very fixable. Adding simple, nutrient-dense foods like a handful of nuts, fresh berries, or the occasional boiled egg can provide a broad spectrum of vitamins and minerals. Some folks also benefit from a carefully chosen multivitamin, though you should always talk to a healthcare professional before starting something new. Now that you know about these different types of itchiness, legs, back, scalp or neck, and torso, take a quiet moment to reflect. Has any one area been bothering you more than usual lately? If so, don't jump straight to worst case scenarios. Just remember that your body has a language all its own. It might whisper, "Hey, check your circulation," or "Maybe it's time for some blood work," or "Could you slow down and relax a bit more?" These gentle warnings are actually opportunities to address minor concerns before they escalate. Think of it like regular car maintenance theft. The check engine light comes on and you ignore it, you risk a much bigger problem down the road. There's another thing to keep in mind. Making lifestyle changes can feel daunting if you try to do everything at once. The beauty of these signals is that they allow you to start small. Maybe you'll add an extra glass of water in the morning to help your kidneys. Perhaps you'll set aside 15 minutes for stretching and light exercise to get your blood flowing. Or you could incorporate a little mindfulness practice, like listening to soothing music or writing in a journal to help calm your nerves. Even focusing on more balanced meals like adding extra vegetables, fruits, or a few lean protein sources can create a positive chain reaction throughout your entire body. You don't need to flip your routine overnight. Every little effort counts. If you're finding this information helpful, I encourage you to stay connected. Feeling supported and informed makes a huge difference in sticking to healthy habits. If you haven't already, consider subscribing to channels or newsletters that offer evidence-based health advice. There's something comforting about a steady flow of helpful tips and reminders that can keep you on track and encourage you to pay closer attention to those subtle changes in your body. When it comes to well-being, knowledge truly is power, and you can share that power with friends and family who might benefit as well. You might be thinking, well, I haven't felt any persistent itching in these areas. Am I off the hook? That's good news. It means you can focus on prevention and early awareness. Keep this knowledge tucked away in case you or someone you know ever starts noticing unexplained itchiness. Being prepared and informed can spare you a lot of guesswork. And if you do recognize one of these warning signals, remember that it's not a sentence, it's a suggestion. It's your body's way of nudging you toward better self-care. A big part of aging gracefully is learning to interpret your body's hints and respond with compassion rather than fear. Maybe you decide to schedule a checkup or get a simple blood test. Perhaps you talk to a nutritionist about making sure you're getting enough vitamins and minerals. Or you might take up a low-impact exercise class to support your circulation and heart health. There are so many small steps you can take, and each one can lead to significant improvements in how you feel day to day. I've shared the examples of Harold and Dennis, Dorothy and Janice, Leonard and Ray, and Joyce and Elaine, because their stories illustrate how different factors like activity level, diet, social engagement, and stress can all intersect with aging in unique ways. You might see yourself or someone you love reflected in one or more of these stories. Maybe you're like Harold, already in the habit of daily walks. Keep it up and know you're doing something great for your body. Or maybe you connect more with Elaine, who's found cooking less appealing and noticed that her diet has slipped. If so, consider exploring easy, healthy recipes or finding a cooking buddy to make the experience more fun. As we wrap up, let's not forget that our bodies are dynamic. They change over time, and that's a natural part of life. The key is staying curious and adaptive. If your skin is talking to you through an itch, answer back by looking into what might be causing it. Remember, it's often easier to address these issues early on before they become critical. The real goal is not just adding years to your life, but also keeping those years vibrant, fulfilling, and comfortable. And finally, if you learned something new or thought of someone who might need this information, feel free to pass it along. Starting a conversation with a friend, a sibling, or even an adult child about these small signs can help all of you become more proactive about health. Sometimes just sharing our experiences, like noticing an unusual itch, can spark a bigger change in our habits and outlook. Thank you for joining me in this exploration of what your body might be trying to tell you through something as simple as an itch. Everybody is unique, and you know yours best. By combining your day-to-day awareness with this information, you can better guide yourself toward healthy habits that support a longer, happier life. If you feel inspired, you can share in the comments or just quietly note to yourself one small change you plan to make today. It could be as simple as walking an extra 5 minutes, drinking another glass of water, or setting aside a bit of quiet time to reduce stress. In the end, the point isn't to worry about every twinge or itch that pops up. Rather, it's about knowing the difference between something that's harmless and something that's asking for a closer look. And when you do take that look, do it with kindness and curiosity, because that's what real self-care is all about. I wish you continued health, peace of mind, and a gentle awareness of all the small ways your body communicates. Here's to a life filled with strength, clarity, and comfort no matter what your age.